Hello everyone, welcome, welcome, welcome. This is our second in a series. Welcome, come on in. Come on in. This is our second in a series of workshops through the Excel program, experiencing confidence and enjoyment of learning. So I thank you for all coming here and getting ready to be discovered on national TV. Joking about that. The first thing that I want you to do, and this is one of these lessons that I'm going to offer you. You've already paid for my service, so I'm not charging you any extra for this tip. All right? Your cell phone. It has a button on it. Sometimes it's on the side, sometimes it's on the top or the bottom. Did you know that if you press your button, this button long enough, that it actually, your phone goes off?
You just turned it on.
I know, I gotta do the other. It was already off, you see. I'm going to turn it off. But what I'd like for you all to do is to show me that I've just taught you how to turn off your cell phone. So please go ahead and turn off your cell phone. If anybody needs any help to find where their button is, I'm going to go ahead, I'll come over, I'm an expert at it. Oh, look at Tony's.
Where's the button?
Where's the button? That's great. Okay, so I'm pressing the button. Please go ahead and put it away in your pocket. If any of you start to shake or something like that, I'm a psychologist. I'll be able to just raise your hand and I'll have you do a little bit of deep breathing. Be ready for my really terrible, corny jokes, okay? So what I'd like for you to do in the next minute is actually pretend that you're texting your neighbor, but use your mouth. That means talk. All right? So go ahead, say hello to your neighbor, introduce yourself, tell them your favorite food, something like that. All right, go ahead. We've handed out this flyer. You don't need to look at it yet. I will talk with you when we're ready to do that. Again, welcome. My name is Mark Stevens. I am a faculty member in educational psychology and counseling. I was the director of university counseling services here for 10 years. None of those things deserve a round of applause, but the next thing that I have to say to you deserves a round of applause. I don't want a standing ovation, just a round of applause. If anybody wants to do a standing ovation, that'd be okay as well. I am a proud graduate of CSUN. Thank you. I applied here. This will tell you a little bit about my age. I applied here when it was San Fernando Valley State College, and I got accepted, and it was California State University, Northridge. I got a little bit of a bump just in a couple different months. My hope, our hope, when I say our, I'm talking about faculty, staff, administrators here at CSUN. Our hope is that one day, someday, you will be able to get up in front of an audience and you'll be able to say, I'm a proud graduate as well. We are doing these workshops to help you on that road that you have of graduating from CSUN. And as I said in the first workshop, we know that there are many reasons why people do not pass 092, 093, or 097. Many reasons. The reason that you all think isn't a reason at all. It has nothing to do with your intellectual abilities. Nothing to do with your intellectual abilities. There's a lot of other factors that contribute to you not passing. And we're going to talk about one of those factors, and it's a main factor, which is test anxiety, math test anxiety. And today, I'm going to share with you some ideas about how you can get to what I call this humble, optimal place of test anxiety. Because when you get to that humble, optimal place, you're going to be able to, if you can see over there, have more focus and have access to information. How many of you have studied pretty hard, but your anxiety was just so high that you couldn't remember when you got this question on the test and you went blank? How many of you have had that experience before? That's too much anxiety. I want to teach you some ways. Come on in. Come on, here you go. All right. There's Cameron. Just say hello. That was very mean on me, but you were a very good sport. Thank you. So I'm gonna teach you some ways to help get to that place. And with the idea that when you get to that place, you will do a lot better on your tests. And you've got some tests coming up. So let's talk about math test anxiety. I'm going to come right around over here. And this is one of these bell-shaped curves. And we've got on this side too much really heightened anxiety. And here, really too low anxiety. And here's this sweet spot, this optimal, like when you hit a baseball and you get it right on that part of the bat that it just makes a great noise, and it just, any baseball players here, you know that sweet spot, and it's like boom, it just takes off. We want you to get to that optimal place. Why, I'm going to ask you all this, why is having too low test anxiety not good for you? What does it mean if you don't have any anxiety at all?
You're not taking it seriously.
You're not taking it seriously. You don't care. What's that?
You're not trying.
You're not trying. So, oftentimes people that just say, I don't really care, it's because they're not very confident how they're going to do. On the other hand, what is the consequences of too much test anxiety? How might that impact you in some negative ways?
You're frying your brain.
You're frying your brain. What else? Good answer. What else with too much anxiety?
Not good for your health.
What's that?
It's not good for your health.
It's not good for your health? Yes? What else happens when you have too much test anxiety? What goes on?
It keeps you from focusing.
Keeps you from focusing? Good.
Should I go on?
Well, let's get some other folks. Thank you. What else? I appreciate your involvement. What else when you have too much anxiety?
You stress out.
You stress out. How do you know that you're stressed out? What happens when you get stressed out? Your heart beats faster. What else?
You lose hair.
You lose hair, yes. I'm glad I'm not bald. Yes. What else happens? Yes.
You get frustrated.
You get frustrated easy. Yes.
You don't breathe properly, so there's not enough oxygen going to your head, so you don't think properly.
Sometimes you get a little bit dizzy because you're not breathing properly.
Lightheaded.
What's that?
Lightheaded.
You get lightheaded. Yeah. Sometimes you start to sweat a little bit. Now, having some anxiety is good. You want to have just a little bit of sweat, but you don't want to have too much. You want to have a type of confidence that I'm feeling pretty good about this, but you still want to try hard. We're going to talk about some ways to manage and to get to a place where you're going to be able to benefit by all the studying that you've done in preparation for the test. I was a sports psychologist for a number of years, and I worked with a lot of different athletes. I worked with college athletes. I worked at Ohio State, and I worked at USC. And, you know, you talk with an athlete about when you get to the free throw line, how are you feeling? What do you want to feel? Well, you don't want to just go, I'm up there, boom. You want to be able to concentrate. But you also want to be able to have a kind of humble anxiety. Just a little bit of anxiety. Not a lot, to be able to use your muscles. That's what we want for you as academic athletes. So, you've got this handout. And it says reflection exercise. I want you to take the time to fill out both of the questions. The first question is, think of a time in your life when you walked into an exam feeling confident, that kind of humble confidence. What were the things that led you to this confident feeling? Consider your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors before and during the test. And then the second question is, think of a time in your life when you walked into an exam feeling really anxious. What were the things that led you to that anxious feeling? Consider your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors before and during the test. So we've got about 5 minutes or so to go ahead and fill this out, and then we'll go ahead from there. Thank you. Does anybody need a utensil writing? Okay. We've got a couple people. Do we have any extras? We've got one coming. I've got one. Who needs one? All right. What's that? You need a sheet? Okay, I will get you a sheet. Thank you. Anybody have an extra writing utensil for someone? Let me take a look.
I have one.
You got an extra one? Okay. This is what I call teamwork.
You want the pen? Anybody want a pen? You need something? You need a pen? Here. Oh, you got it.
Anyone else?
Anybody else need a writing utensil? Are we all covered? We need one more. Andrea? Oh, I think I got one. You got it? Anybody else? All right. By the way, no need to put your name on this. Feel your brains working. Let's give it one more minute. Okie doke. Here's what we're going to do. If I can have your attention up here. Been working long hours. What I'm going to have you do is to break off again into pairs, and I want you to answer, share with them question number 1. What did you write down in terms of what it takes for you to feel humbly confident? So go ahead and find someone. So go ahead and find someone to share with, introduce themselves. Good chatter. Let me do a little bit of a pulse check on you all. You guys have, most of you, not all of you, have been away from your cell phone. I won't pick on the ones that I noticed. By the way, professors know when you're looking at your cell phone, because you're going down like this and going like, and we know that you don't have neck problems at your age. We know you're not stretching your neck. Just, that was one of those corny jokes. But I do want to check your pulse. You guys have been away from your cell phones now for 25 minutes. Everybody have a heartbeat? Do you all have, you don't have a heartbeat? A miracle. You heard my question and you didn't have a heartbeat. You all have a heartbeat? Okay, raise your hand if you have a heartbeat. You survived these last 25 minutes. Thank you. We're going to unpack this. We're going to take a look at what are the thoughts, feelings, and behaviors that contribute to this, that contribute to this. We're going to work our way backwards because, from my perspective, this is going to be really key for us to get to in order to be right here. So, you all have started to talk about this. Let's chat. Let's start with behaviors. What sort of behaviors lead to you to having this humble confidence, this optimal test anxiety?
Time management.
What's that?
Time management.
Time management, okay. Okay, what else? Time management, good time management, I should say. What else?
Study habits.
Like what?
Study before a test.
Study before the test, okay. What do we call study before the test?
Cramming.
Okay, so we don't want cramming. What's the ideal word that we use that you're doing before the test that's not cramming? What's that called? Review. Yes. Okay, what else do we do that helps us get to here? Yes.
Eat.
What's that?
Eat well.
Eat well, yeah, good. Eat, what else?
Drink.
Drink water. What else?
Sleep.
Sleep, good. What else? We got to sleep?
Yeah.
Was that yours? That's mine too. What other behaviors do we do to get up here? What else do you have on your paper? There's a couple big ones that are missing. Yes?
Studying throughout the week.
Study throughout the week. Good. Studying throughout week. Okay. There's 3 that are really gigantic. Please, you have to get these. Yes?
Ask for help.
Ah, number 1. Thank you very much. Ask for help. And as I said before, it's not only asking for help when you don't understand something. Go to the tutor, go to the professor and say, I think I got this. Let me just make certain. Because then when you add like, oh yeah, you got it, then you go, okay, I got a little bit more confidence. We've got 2 more big ones. 2 more big ones.
Take notes.
Take notes. I'm going to add that. It's not one of the big ones, but it is. We're going to do that. It's kind of connected to one of the big ones. What else? Yes?
Study partner.
Study partner. I like that. How many of you have study partners? I would recommend it because you can like go back and forth. You can have confidence. You can go to the tutor together. If you don't know it, it's a really good feeling to be able to go together with somebody and to be able to ask for help or to work on a problem that you don't understand. What else?
Confident.
What's that?
Confident.
Okay, we're going to get that to a feeling. You're getting ahead of the game. I'm going to put it up there. On the behavior. Okay. I want you all to go like this. Put it right by your forehead. Because when we come up with this one, you're going to go, oh my goodness gracious. Why didn't I say this? All right? There's 2 of them. And I want to tell you something. I've been doing these workshops. You guys forget these 2. Doesn't mean you're not doing them, but somehow you forget it. What do you think they are?
First letter.
What's that? First letter? Okay. First letter is, I'll say what, this is the first word. Go. Go to class. Okay, can you guys go like this for me? Oh my goodness. Go to class. There's one other one that you're missing. What is it?
Paying attention.
Paying attention, yes?
Is it really?
Yes. It's not the number 1, but I would count it way up there. Yes.
Going to office hours.
Going to office hours, asking for help is up there. You're right.
Participating.
Participating, you're absolutely right.
Take notes.
Take notes. How about do your homework? It's kind of like that studying part, but practice the problems. Practice and do your homework. So, we got to go to class up here. Now, what are the feelings that are associated with this humble confidence? You said confident. What else? What other feelings? You remember? Yes.
Relieved,
Relieved. Why are you relieved?
because you study and you know that you passed, so you know all your hard work paid off.
Okay, so you're relieved because you've studied hard. There's a kind of confidence that you're walking into the test, and that does help you manage your test anxiety. What other feelings are connected when you...
Happy?
Happy, good. What else? What else did you put on your paper?
Excitement?
Excitement. I like that. What are you excited about? What's that?
Passing?
You're excited about passing? You're ready? Okay, good. We're going to come back to that one because that's really key. What else are you feeling?
Accomplished?
Hungry. I am. Relaxed. Good. Now, here comes the key, and you've already sort of moved in this direction. Because it's going to be this thought that you have, I'm bringing it all the way around here, is the take-home message. Because this leads to this, leads to this. So what kind of thoughts do you have when you've got this optimal, humble test anxiety? Yes?
It's not the end of the world.
It's not the end of the world. Good.
I'm a badass.
What does that mean? I'm a badass.
She's a mule? What is she? She's a mule?
Who said that? I agree with you, but who said that? Okay, what does that mean?
I don't know, it just feels like really, really good. It's not something like you feel like you did what you had to do.
I got it. I did what I had to do. Terrific. So let me ask you all a question. How many of you, because we're going right to here, how many of you have walked into a test? Someone used the word excitement before. I got it. How many of you walked into a test or the night before looking forward to taking a test?
My driver says.
Your driver's test. Thank you for the comedic relief. Thank you. So here's the take-home message that I want you to sort of conceptualize, to think about. How are you going to get to a place where you're walking into the test looking forward to it? Because when you look forward to taking the test, it feels good. You've done all of these things. You've had a sense of pride. You've made some sacrifices. You've asked for help. You got it. You tested yourself. And you're going, I want to prove that my investment is going to pay off all this time. How many of you have looked forward to a test result because you felt like I put in a lot of time and effort? Raise your hand. And it feels really, really good. So the take-home message is, I want to be able to say to myself, I'm looking forward to taking this test. And if you work backwards, then you ask yourself, what do I need to do so that that thought can be, I'm looking forward to take it. That's the challenge. And I hope you'll take me up on that challenge. On this And we've kind of got this down, the high anxiety. What are some of the behaviors? You already mentioned cramming. What else? What are some of the behaviors that lead to test anxiety? What's that?
No sleep.
No sleep. What else?
Too many cups of coffee.
Too many cups of coffee, okay. What else?
Thinking too much.
What's that?
Thinking too much.
Thinking too much? Overthinking? Good.
Not asking for help.
Not asking for help?
Didn't study at all.
Didn't study at all. Ouch. Yes. So, on this side, you're feeling, I'll play the Vanna White. You're feeling what's the word that I'm looking for? On this side, when you have humble confidence, you're feeling really proud, yes. What else?
Positive.
Positive, yes. What else? Prepared. Being prepared leads to this. On this side, the feeling is what? Stress, high heart rate, jittery, disappointment. Your thought is that you're disappointed. What else are you thinking? I'm going to fail. I'm not going to do very well on it. I can't wait to get out of there. So we want you to get to that place where you are feeling prepared. We've got a list of suggestions for you. Coping with test anxiety is on the other side. I want you to check off 5 things on this page that you are promising you will do before your next test. You're making yourself a commitment of 5 things that you're going to do. So go ahead and read them over, check them off. All right, it looks like folks got your 5. I'm going to give you some really good news. I talked with Andrea, the Assistant Director of Developmental Math, and she's given me permission that you can use more than these 5, and there won't be any extra cost. Is that right? Yes. Okay. Can you laugh at my corny jokes just a little bit? Come on. That was one of the requirements. I should have told you that. Yes, thank you very much. We're going to go over one by one. And I want to see by raise of hands who has selected what. I'm kind of curious about that. How many of you before the test will avoid classmates who cause anxiety? How many of you rose your... Okay. You know what's amazing? This is the least checked off answer because people don't want to, they don't want to confront their friends or their classmates. But when I ask you behind closed doors, this is a really check off. How many of you have had the experience? You're in a zone. You're getting ready to take the test, and in comes your friend, and he or she is going, how much time did you study? Or I heard it's going to be a really hard test. Or what's the answer to how many of you have had those experiences with somebody? like somebody that's anxious right before. It's contagious. Avoid that person. Put your jacket over your head, sit someplace, ignore that person. Or if you want to be assertive, saying, I'm trying to stay in my Zen mode right now. I don't want to be bothered. Number 2, how many of you checked off focusing on answering the question, not on the grade? How many of you checked that off? Fair amount of you. How many of you have had the experience where you're taking the test and you go, if I don't get this question right, I'm not going to get an A or I'm not going to get a B? You've done that before. What's so important is to keep focus is when you start thinking about what grade you get, what happens? What's that? You get distracted. Sometimes your anxiety goes up. So it's really important to focus in on the question, because when you're focused in on the question, you'll be able to read it much better. Number 3, how many of you checked off approach the exam with confidence? View the exam as an opportunity to show how much you've studied and to receive an award for the studying you've done. How many plan on using this as a strategy? Okay, we talked about that. Next, check in with your body. If you're anxious, stop and do some breathing. Less than 30 seconds can help. How many of you checked off that? A couple of you. How many of you didn't check off anything? Or it's going to be farther down. So, breathing. How many of you checked that off? Go ahead and raise. You've got. Okay. We're going to practice a second. You ready? This is what I don't want you to do in class. But it helps. You ready? I want you to take a really nice deep breath in. And then make a big noise as you sigh out. Ah. Let's try it again. Breathe in. And then sigh out. Ah. Let's try it one more time. It feels really good. Honest. Breathe in. Hold it. And then let it out. Ah. Now don't do that in class. Don't do that in the middle of the exam. But what you can do is you can breathe and exhale more quietly. Doing that 3 times, 4 times, 5 times before the test, during the test, can really help you with your focus. How about this one? Remind yourself this is only one test, not your whole grade or your career. You can still get married. You can still have kids. You can still walk the streets. You're not going to jail. Thank you for kind of laughing at me. It's one measure of one particular chunk of knowledge on one day. Don't make it more than that. How many of you want to use that attitude to help with the test anxiety? Good. If you don't know the answer, skip the question and move on. How many of you raise your hand if you're going to use that? Very good. Give yourself about, a minute or so and then move on. Sometimes you get to the other questions, your brain starts to engage, and when you come back, the question seems easier. This one. Don't worry about people who are turning their tests in before you. You have no idea what their experience is. It might be blank. How many of you are going to embrace that? Good idea. So let me talk to you about turning your test in early. We did a research project on it. And do you mind if I pick on you a second? It wasn't about you, but I'm going to. So we had students, and we put down the time when they turned in the test. Some of them turned it in 10 minutes early, 15 minutes early, 20 minutes early. You know the number one reason is why students turn their tests in early? What do you think the number one reason is? What's that? They can leave early. What else? They give up?
They don't know.
They don't know? You've got good answers. It's not the number one.
Didn't know everything, so it didn't take them long.
Didn't take them long. That's a possibility. You know what? Yes.
Get it over with?
Get it over with. The number one answer is, I just want to get it over with. I don't like my feeling of anxiety. I just want to get it over with. Let me go back to this gentleman. So we said, what's your name?
Samuel.
Samuel. Samuel, you turned your test in at 1:37. You still had 13 minutes to go on the test. Why did you turn it in so early? We asked you. You go, oh, I thought I did okay at it. I wanted to leave. I wanted to get it over with. Then we go, Samuel, did you check over? Not really. Then we go, Samuel, let's look at number 4. You got number 4 wrong. Is this a plus or is it, and you go, I rushed. When you check over your exam and you don't turn it in early, you catch what we call careless mistakes. I encourage you not to let your anxiety run you, but to go ahead and take the time and go over. When we work with students to do that, their scores went up like that. Start from the end and go backwards. Anybody use that as a strategy? Yeah, sometimes professors give some easier questions at the end and you just kind of go, you build your confidence. Acknowledge your desire to hurry up and give up. Tell yourself that is anxiety talking and just stick with the test. How many of you are going to use that as a strategy? Okay, thank you for your honesty. Don't rush to turn your exam in because you want to get the test over with. This can lead to careless mistakes. If you have time, check over your work for careless mistakes. Kind of something that I just said. How many of you plan on doing that? Ooh, a lot of you. I like that. Remind yourself to just breathe and do your best. How many of you will embrace that? Remember not to make a big loud noise in the middle of class. Avoid cramming and pace your study. The night before should be for review, not learning. How many of you plan on kind of studying over time, getting the material to really come in? How many of you plan on doing that? All right? Ask for help early. Raise your hand. I like that. Get adequate sleep the night before. How many people plan on doing that? Good, good, good. Avoid extra caffeine that morning. Why is extra caffeine not a good idea? Anybody have an idea?
You're going to crash at the end.
You're going to crash at the end, but before that, what's going to happen?
You're getting jittery.
You're going to get too jittery. So, you know what your dosage is. Don't go from here to there. You can go from here a little bit more, but don't go way, way up. And if you don't drink caffeine, it's not a good idea. Have a healthy meal or snack beforehand. Feed your brain. Hunger can inhibit focus. How many of you plan on doing what our grandmothers told us to do? How many of you plan on using more than 5 of these? Fantastic. You know it's free. So, I'd like to wrap it up. We have confidence in your abilities. We have confidence in your purpose. We have confidence in your desire. We invited you here. We invited you here to succeed. I want to, on behalf of all of the university, please accept my hug, my welcoming hug, and our hug of encouragement, because we really do want you to pass. We want you to have a great sense of belonging at CSU, and thank you all very much.